Hello, we're back.
Hey, we
I'm
are
Roller
back.
Coaster. This is Woke Flossie. How's
Hi.
it going?
It's going pretty good. I'm excited for this next matchup because we're going to get to see something a little bit. Oh, this is not the GS matchup, I guess. My bad. My bad.
We're
my
not
bad.
fancy enough to be commentating the GS Cup match.
Oh, okay. But I do see
Yeah.
Bees has got that classic Venusaur Torkoal combo. So I imagine we'll be seeing some of that, as well as the Thunderous Dusclops Regirock, which I've been seeing a lot on ladder recently, and the female Indeedee.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty interesting team. Like, Venusaur is a pretty common combination, but Sir Wilson, thank you for subscribing, buddy. How you doing, man? But I'd say that the support squad from Venusaur aren't like the usual suspects that you see, and Bees has. Oh wait, no, you said Bees. Gil has. Sorry, it like switched over. So I Zapdos, Amoonguss, Grimmsnarl, Porygon 2, Urshifu, and Glisterior.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what these players bring out.
Yeah, Glisterior has kind of like an interesting interaction with Venusaur, because obviously Glisterior, if it can get the hit off, just obliterates the Venusaur, but you kind of want to do that in Trick Room, but if you set up Trick Room, then you're just giving Torkoal excuses to just start spamming eruptions, and you're taking like way too much damage than you want to. But if you're not in Trick Room, you're risking Sleep Powder, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes out.
Yep, Ice Horse definitely does not want to take an eruption.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that Bees goes ahead and leads with the Indeedee and the Dusclops. And Gil opts for your favorite Pokemon, Grimmsnarl, and the Zapdos.
I don't know how me saying I don't like to play Grimmsnarl that much twisted to I hate Grimmsnarl.
I know. Well, you know, we take something and run with it.
Cute, JJ. I appreciate that. Okay, so Dusclops and Indeedee, it's an obvious follow me Trick Room. That's usually what this league does. That's normally how it goes down. And seeing as how the only like real Trick Room mons that Bees has is Regirock and Torkoal, I would assume that that's what's in the back.
I would too. This Grimmsnarl, as we saw, does have access to both screens as well as fake tears. So we'll see if we don't see something like a light screen and perhaps a heat wave just to do some damage and avoid the... we see the Thunderbolt come out from the Zapdos, targeting down the Indeedee, of course, because of the follow me.
Yeah. Just getting some solid chip damage. You don't want to let any of those Trick Room sweepers in too early. You don't like Zapdos doesn't love taking eruptions. It definitely doesn't want to take a max Rockfall from Regirock. So now you're gonna try to like play around it, protect, stall, and just try to get yourself into a position where Indeedee is gone and your Dusclops is in KO range by the end of the Trick Room.
That's it. Stall out those turns of Trick Room, because really the only damage that Dusclops is probably threatening here is something like a Nightshade that we just saw. And Grimmsnarl goes ahead and Spirit Breaks the Dusclops, which is going to do just a little bit of chip damage. Again, and then we see the Expanding Force come out from Indeedee, not going to affect that Grimmsnarl, and into the Protect on the Zapdos. So I'd say that was a good turn for Gil.
Yeah, that was a great turn of stalling. Didn't take any damage. Got a little bit of chip on the Dusclops. The Indeedee's still there, so obviously the Trick Room sweeper doesn't come in. The first turn's usually the easiest one. It's these next couple where it's gonna get tricky. Obviously, Grimmsnarl is like not threatened at all by either Indeedee or Dusclops. Oh, dang.
Just gonna see a hard switch into one of those Trick Room sweepers, the Regirock.
Ooh.
Yeah, the fake tears, the psychic terrain blocking those prankster moves.
Yeah, and the Nightshade coming out, getting some more chip, and Thunderbolt going into the Dusclops. So Beast makes a pretty aggressive play and just hard switches in the Regirock. Notices like, okay, it looks like you're going to try and stall this. I think I'll be okay if I take a Thunderbolt or something like that. So I'm just going to switch in my Regirock and go ahead and get going. Oh yeah, dude, Zordor, you're welcome here anytime.
And it turns out it was a pretty good play. Of course, the Grimmsnarl not really threatening a whole lot of damage on whatever switches in. And it would have been able to survive that Thunderbolt, I believe. We're going to see the Dynamax here, probably from Bees, and it probably is that Regirock trying to take advantage of the turns of Trick Room that are left.
Yeah, I mean, Regirock thrives in Trick Room. It's a super slow Pokemon. Zapdos is on the field, so yeah, it's just time to get going.
Yeah, we're going to see Grimmsnarl go ahead and set up that Reflect, trying to mitigate some of the damage coming out from this Regirock. And we see Dusclops go for the Pain Split on the Grimmsnarl.
Yeah, this Max Rockfall comes out from the Regirock and is probably going to KO. Oh, no, into the Grimmsnarl. Very interesting.
Targeted the Grimmsnarl, yeah. Probably thinking that you don't want screens to get set up a second time, knowing that you can take the KO on that Zapdos at pretty much any time. Did you see the crit?
Yeah, pretty decent Thunderbolt crit coming out from Zapdos. So B's probably thinking that Zapdos is either going to protect, play defensively, probably even just switch out entirely. So let's not waste the time going for the Rockfall there, and let's just get a bunch of damage off on Grimmsnarl. Maybe you be in Nightshade range. It can stop being annoying. The screens are up, so it won't be able to reset them. But Gil just leaving the Zapdos and being like, all right, I'm just going to try and get damage. I don't think I really need this to win the game. So yeah, which is interesting based on what they have on the back. It seems that Zapdos would be the best max option.
Yeah, it's pretty much the offensive juggernaut on that team, at least for what Gil has in the back.
Yeah. Don't worry, Tiki. You got here just in time for the Regirock action. Zapdos gonna go for a Protect. Yep. Yeah. There's the weakness policy proc.
There it is. Yep. Gonna go ahead. Of course, it's not gonna affect that Zapdos. It is going to, most importantly, proc that weakness policy on the Regirock. So if this Max Rockfall is going into the Zapdos slot, it might even KO.
Yeah, Zapdos is pretty low there, so I wouldn't be surprised if this knocks out Zapdos even through the Protect, which it does. So
yeah.
On the plus side, there was like kind of no benefit to really doing anything else. Maybe switching into something like Porygon so that you can recover once Trick Room's up would have been better, so you still had to use Zapdos. But after the weakness policy not being proc, maybe you think that it has a different item and you thought that Zapdos would be able to make it through the turn.
Yeah, and Grimmsnarl kind of forced to just go for the, hey, Tiki, thanks for the resubscription. 4 months strong.
4 months strong, yeah. Thanks, buddy.
4 months.
You got to subscribe to your own channels, so at least that's what I've been told by Gemma, so.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
But now we see the Urshifu, who is coming in, and it is the water-type Urshifu.
Surging Strikes, too.
Yeah. Probably trying to take advantage of this turn out of Trick Room, right? We just saw the Trick Room end. Of course, the Regirock does have one more turn of Dynamax, and it's threatening some big damage at +2.
Yeah, I personally don't know how much Urshifu does to Regirock.
I don't
while
think it's
max.
KO, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Surging Strikes is a very powerful move. We're going to see how much it does, but Regirock, set up for Trick Room, probably has a bunch of HP investment in a natural 200 base defense. So yeah, it's going to live this decently solidly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be stupidly fat, Turtle. It even survives the double up. So B's going for the right play, just being like, you can double my Regirock if you want. It's gonna live, and I'm gonna get damage off on the Urshifu. And again, with the Zapdos gone, Grimmsnarl's in Nightshade range. Urshifu's getting really low. I'm not entirely sure how Gil's gonna be able to bring this back.
Yeah, we did see it was just the Porygon 2 in the back. Wait, was it Porygon 2, right?
And Grimmsnarl just goes down to sand.
Yep.
Oh no, did they Nightshade? Did they not set up Trick Room?
Yeah, they didn't set up Trick Room
okay,
again.
Cool. That's an interesting play. I guess Bees feels like they don't really need Trick Room to get through this. Now, on the plus side, Dynamax is over, and Regirock can't protect from the Surging Strikes. Or protect from any attack that the Urshifu goes for.
And Gil hasn't Dynamaxed yet, so we might see see one of these Pokemon Dynamax this turn.
I would love to see a Max Porygon, and it does have Shadow Ball, so like a Max Phantasm dropping the defense on the partners, and if it has a special attack boost, will like do decent damage on its own. So
Yeah.
it could be the play, or maybe even just like kind of stalling for a little bit more to see what your opponent does.
Right. Maybe not wanting to lose access to that recover either right away for 3 turns. Let's see what this Dusclops decides to do.
Yeah, Porygon 2 going for Shadow Ball. Should get decent amount of damage. Well, never mind. I'm a liar. That did nothing. But interesting. Dusclops goes for Nightshade. Maybe Bees has like the Thunderous in the back, so they don't want to set up Trick Room. But yeah,
we'll see.
I would say that the time to set it is coming. Oh, it got Quake Boost. Yeah, that's right. So it's really going to survive. And now Indeedee has Redirection. So something like a Follow Me Nightshade, or even Follow Me Trick Room if you have Torkoal in the back to set up some Eruptions, is going to be rough. But I think that really the only option right now is to max the Porygon 2.
Yeah, and with that Follow Me, of course, you can't really go for a Max Phantasm safely because of Indeedee's normal typing. With that redirection, of course, making the move just not any good. So I think we might see something like a Max Strike here. Of course, if that Dusclops does decide to set Trick Room, that speed drop is going to help out even more.
Yeah, this is my personal favorite thing to say. See, Max Porygon 2. It looks like Zordor is having some war flashbacks from defense boosted Dusclops / Porygon 2, which is never fun to face. No redirection coming out.
No redirection, but we do see the Max Strike targeting down that Indeedee, of course.
Which I wasn't paying attention. If Porygon got the download boost, that's a super easy KO. Porygon 2 is really strong. And Pain Split coming from the Dusclops. I am constantly surprised by B's decision to not set Trick Room. Maybe they're predicting the Porygon 2 to go for Trick Room itself, but yeah, I'm very interested to see what's going on.
Yeah, let's see what B's last Pokemon is. It's the Torkoal. I think Trick Room might be incoming.
Yeah, you can't protect here. No. I think Surging Strikes isn't gonna really do enough. It'll do solid damage enough to where like Eruption isn't something that they can really go for. So maybe just doubling the Torkoal and then making this a 1v1 with the Dusclops and the Porygon 2, which I think Porygon 2 should always win because Dusclops' only way to damage it to a point where it can KO is Nightshade, which Porygon is immune to.
Right. We see the close combat fire off into the Torkoal. Does about half damage, sitting right at half.
Yeah, good damage on the Torkoal. That's more than enough to have Nightshade and Max Strike coming out, so this should just finish off Torkoal because while Torkoal is very solid physical defense, garbage, non-existent special defense.
Yeah, the Torkoal just gonna go ahead and faint.
And Dusclops finally sets up the Trick Room, but it looks like it's gonna be a little too late because again, Dusclops just can't 1v1 the Porygon.
Yep, and Urshifu's still around to, who knows, maybe it'll be able to protect this turn, get a little damage from Aqua Jet in the sun. Who knows?
Yeah. Up Smash is pointing out, Max Porygon 2 is the play. It's almost always the play. It's the best play. Always max your P2 every option you get. Oh, that's right. The Dusclops has Bulldoze.
Yep, that spread attack is going to be enough to take out the Urshifu. Not going to do a whole lot to that Porygon in its max form. But that does make it able to do damage to the Porygon, which is an important thing.
Amy, how many Bulldozes do you think a Dusclops has to do to outspeed the Porygon outside of Trick Room?
I don't know. Could you drop its speed to min? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, but I mean, like, so, I'd say that, like, I don't think Dusclops can win it. Even though it has Bulldoze, Gil can just start playing for time and on the last turn of the game, they just go for recover, and everything's fine. Wow, that did nothing.
Nope.
So yeah,
and the Porygon does have that super effective Shadow Ball, which is chipping away slowly but surely.
Yeah, I think the way that you win this is by setting, like, you get low enough to where you can pain split so that maybe Bulldoze is enough to take it out.
Hey, Jones, thanks for the raid.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thanks so much. You're just in this thrilling endgame of Porygon 2v Dusclops, which, it just got a special defense drop, so I think that's just absolutely
probably going to wrap it up.
Because, like, even if you pain split, like, you pain split and recover, but the next Shadow Ball should do so much damage that you're kind of forced to pain split again.
And not doing any damage to the Porygon.
Yeah, and Porygon, see, like, you gotta pain split again if you want to survive the next one. And if you're pain splitting, you're not KOing, and I don't think Bulldoze can KO anyway.
Hey, Jones, thanks for the follow.
So, yeah, this should just kind of be a wrap right now. But again, yeah.
So you guys are joining us tonight on our Monday night Friendlies. We do this every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We just get some people from our Discord, which I'm going to put !Discord in our chat right now. If you guys want to be a part of Monday Night Friendlies, go ahead on over to our Discord, click on some roles, and check out our Discord, sign up for Monday Night Friendlies, and join us here on stream. You don't have to have a capture card. We have enough people with capture cards in our community. It does help us with scheduling if you do have one, but you don't have to have one to play here live on Monday night.
Chase answered this question that Adam had, but Adam was saying, what if Porygon 2 only has Tri-Attack as an attack and Dusclops' only attack is its Nightshade? I'd still say that Porygon 2 always wins that in-game because you can always play towards time. And the way Pain Split works is that it shares your pain, so you both have the same number of the exact same HP, and then Porygon 2 can just recover so that it has more. So Porygon 2 should just always win the end game. There was one time when I was playing and the Dusclops had Will-O-Wisp, so if they pain splitted me outside of Trick Room, so my recover went first, they pain splitted, we're even, and then I take Burn Chip, so then I'm technically lower. I think I lost that in game, but yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah, I think in this game, Bees might want to, either prepare for Trick Room by bringing your Glastrier and your Amoonguss, or decide to play out of Trick Room and KO the Trick Room setter as soon as you possibly can.
Does it depend on the percentage of the team HP for a Pokemon attack? So I've asked several thousand people this question all the time. Like an official tournament, like an official best of 3 tournament, it is total party HP, but it's when it's just the game, I don't really know what the game does, and I don't think anyone truly does.
It's a mystery.
How does this work? If you have a capture card, do you just stream your match or what? Curious as I have a capture card. Jade, you should definitely sign up. The way that it works is that you stream to a server that Gemma has access to, and we give you a stream key so that we can pull it up on this feed here.
Yeah, it's real easy, JJ. If you just head on over to the Discord and maybe make a message in Friendlies chat, our signups will go up Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We do see a little bit of an adjustment here from Bees.
Yes, bringing the Venusaur this time, now able to pressure sleep powders, which in my opinion is a lot scarier. And another thing that's nice, which Bees now knows that Gil has a water Urshifu, which just always loses to Venusaur.
Always. Yeah. Of course, that Zapdos does have access to Heat Wave, but like you said, a sleep powder coming out, there's pretty much no way for Zapdos to avoid that if that is what Bees decides to go for.
Beast going for the follow me. The Venusaur didn't max, so I'm assuming that it's going for a sleep powder, just trying to neutralize the Zapdos as soon as it can.
But the Torkoal didn't switch in, so the Zapdos is going to be faster.
And gets off a Heat Wave and does a lot of damage to Venusaur. And a Sludge Bomb, actually, instead of trying to get rid of Grimmsnarl so it can't set up as many screens as it would normally like to.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see if this is still a Pokemon that you'd want to max. If the Venusaur is still a Pokemon worth maxing. Of course, the Zapdos probably going to go ahead and do that Heat Wave again. Here we do see the Torkoal switch in, so that Venusaur is going to be the fastest thing on the field.
Yeah, it's either going to try and get a sleep on Zapdos or pick off this Grimmsnarl before Zapdos has the chance to take it out. But obviously this is kind of like, Sleep Powder into the Zapdos. It does connect, and Zapdos is going to take its first mandatory turn of sleep. But I'd still say this is not a bad position for Gale. I mean, like, Venusaur and Torkoal on the field is kind of annoying because it can just kind of spam eruptions if you don't wake up in time. But, I mean, like, Venusaur's super low, which is the thing that I'd be like, okay, sweet, that's good.
Yeah, but the Grimmsnarl does have a couple of tools to deal with the Torkoal too. While it's out here, it does have access. Oh, we're going to see the Venusaur just go ahead and finish off that Grimmsnarl while the Zapdos is sleeping. So we're not going to get to see those tools in use. I have a feeling that Torkoal is going to fire off a big move here.
Yeah, if Torkoal went for Eruption, which it did, Zapdos is going to take single damage. It's not max, so Jesus, just KOs.
Taking 2 KOs. Yeah. So while that Venusaur is maybe not the Pokemon you want to max at this point, it's still put in quite a bit of work despite going down to about 20% HP on turn 1.
Yeah, something like this turn you could get Gutsy and go for like a Vine Lash into Venusaur or a Vine Lash into Urshifu. I don't know, this is kind of a tricky turn because if you Vine Lash Urshifu and Gil decides to max Porygon 2, your Venusaur goes down. If you Sleep Powder Porygon 2 and Gil gets off like a close combat or something, that's obviously not great either. I'd say like your safest bet is probably to go for like Energy Ball or Leaf Storm or whatever your grass move is into Urshifu and just a Heat Wave.
Yeah. If that Urshifu is not the G-Max Urshifu, it may have an option to change the weather here. That could be something you could go for. The Porygon doesn't look like it has access to any weather-changing moves. But we just see the Sleep Powder again from the Venusaur, content to stay small.
Yeah. Oh, and Solar Beam coming out from Torkoal. This is most likely going into the Urshifu's Protect. Now, because the Sleep Powder is connected onto the Porygon 2, I'd say you could probably just go for a Vine Lash onto Urshifu and a Heat Wave onto the Porygon 2. And even if the Porygon 2 maxes and wakes up, you should be getting like consistently good damage. Oh wait, it could be Specs Torkoal, so it might be locked into Solar Beam.
It might be. Let's see what happens here. We see the Aqua Jet come out, but of course the Psychic Terrain. Not going to allow that to go off.
And Leaptor misses.
Yep.
Oh, we did see Eruption and Solar Beam, yeah. Going for the Eruption, getting big damage on... Oh, God, that did... Oh, it was a crit. Oh, that's unfortunate.
It is.
Yeah.
So even though it's not Specs, doing a lot of damage.
At this point, I would say max the Venusaur, get the Vine Lash off, you'll get consistent chip, you can go for a Heat Wave.
That Aqua Jet in the sun is probably not going to be enough to take out that Venusaur.
Yeah, especially if it chose to max, but it did not. It's not very effective. Leaf Storm comes out. Oh, into the Porygon 2, actually, trying to get as much damage on this thing as possible so it can't just keep recovering. Venusaur will finally go down to its own Life Orb damage. And Porygon 2 stays asleep, and this is probably going to be another Eruption, which I think will just like take them both out. And
Porygon lives on 4.
Yeah, but
Way
it's
to
gonna
go, Porygon.
And the sunlight fades, so eruption I think is virtually at the same strength, because so like eruption got sun boosted, but now it's single target, so I think it's the same. Oh, but DD can just expanding force.
Yeah, and you can't do damage to the Torkoal to weaken its eruption and recover this turn. I think it's just a little bit too late.
Yeah, and Porygon 2 just like pinned into recovering anyway, so like even if Porygon 2 wakes up this turn and it outspeeds and DD somehow, it's recovered, it takes an expanding force, then an eruption, and it's probably the same spot, so...
Yeah, well, GG's to both players. I'm really glad that that they joined us tonight for Monday Night Friendlies. One more thing I wanted to say real quick. If you guys see this ATX VGC choice band that I'm wearing, you can type !merch in the chat to visit our website and get one for yourself. If your grandma or Aunt Karen sends you some Christmas money, get yourself an ATX VGC choice band. We also have Marowak stickers with our logo on them that are also very cool. There it is.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to note, in that match, we did not see anyone Dynamax.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh.
So that's
it can be done. Yeah. Very cool. Late game Dynamax.
Your Aunt Karen does want you to have a choice band.
Yeah, for sure. That's why she's sending you that Christmas card with money. For
to buy choice bands. Okay.
Let's go.
Personally, if I'm Gil, I don't think that I think it kind of came down to sleep turns and sleep powder connects, which is unfortunate because you can't really do a lot to play around those unless you have like electric terrain or follow me a redirector with safety goggles.
Yeah, or the Amoonguss. You know, the Amoonguss is not going to fall asleep to that sleep powder.
Yeah, Amoonguss is immune, but the issue that kind of comes in is that like you can switch it in for the thing that's going to get sleep powdered, but it's but then how are you hitting the Venusaur on that turn, right? It's basically like the same thing.
Yeah, we do see the Indeedee and the Venusaur again from Bees, but this time we see the Grimmsnarl with another partner, and that is that Ice Horse.
Yeah, Glastrier, like I was saying earlier, like obviously we'll just annihilate this Venusaur. It's so strong. But the issue is that Venusaur can pressure Sleep Powder. Torkoal coming in, I don't really know why. Potentially maybe to pressure Glastrier with some fire moves. Something like an Ooze could come out, but seeing as how Gil is maxing first, my guess would be it's just going to be a Sleep Powder. Yeah. Yep.
I think so. Unless, we could see a max guard from this Ice Horse here, maybe giving that Grimmsnarl a chance to do something like lower the special attack, or we're not going to see that because we can't
max
see
flare meter, you won't. Light Screen comes out. Sleep Powder connects into the Glastrier, and yeah, that's... it's Lumberry.
Lumberry, that's one way around, and we are going to see the max Hailstorm, which is not only going to KO this Venusaur, but it's going to change the weather so that Torkoal no longer has its sun up.
And there's one other thing it does, Amy. It gives you a chilling neigh.
There it is, the chilling neigh.
Glastrier is at +1. There's a light screen up. So, and Torkoal is slower, so if this thing has something like a high horsepower or max quake, it is just going to like boost its special defense even further and make it harder and harder for this Torkoal to kill. And especially because the sunlight is no longer up and the light screen's up, Torkoal's really, really gonna struggle.
Yeah, now this will be interesting to see what the speed interactions are here between the Regirock and the Glastrier. Do you know which one's faster?
Naturally, Regirock is faster, but it is going to depend on how each of these players have chosen to like EV and train theirs. Gil could have not opted for going for mid speed on the horse. They do have a max airstream user, so maybe there are like some speed stats that likes to hit at +1 or +2. And Regirock could, I mean, like if they're both just mid speed, then Regirock is just naturally faster.
Yeah, now we're gonna see that Dynamax from Bees, and it is going to be that Regirock again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Regirock's gonna get big. If it has weakness policy and it gets targeted by a Quake, I don't think at +1 Glastrier with a non-stab move is gonna be able to take it out.
Yeah, I'm afraid it won't either. That defense stat is just too huge. We are going to see the Max Rockball come out, targeting that Glastrier, and going to set up the sand.
Yeah, so the weather changes for a third time in this match.
Yep.
As the Reflect goes up, Quake comes out. If this isn't Torkoal, I'd be willing to bet that it KOs because it's an offensive Torkoal, not a defense one, as it goes. And we get a second Chilling Neigh boost here.
Yeah, and now your Ice Horse is sitting at +2, facing down this Regirock, which of course is faster. But I don't know, it'll survive another Max Rockfall unless that weakness policy gets propped.
No more weather changes, the weatherman is losing his mind.
Oh, just wait till you see the GS Cup match.
Yeah. Oh God.
That's weather change. The name of the game is weather.
So could any of our Regirock experts in chat let me know if a +2 Max Quake KOs Regirock from Glastrier? Really? It only takes like 50%?
Oh my goodness.
Yikes. Okay, so then I'd say that Glastrier kind of has to target down the Indeedee, which is unfortunate because Indeedee could like protect that and just go for a protect.
Yeah. We do see a switch out.
Mm-hmm. Porygon 2 is going to come in. Yeah, Indeedee goes for the protect. That's the right move if the Regirock can't be KO'd. Rockfall going to come out into the Glastrier. Oh, into the Grimmsnarl, into the Porygon 2, and Porygon 2 eats that up. Oh,
so
sorry,
you
one
see
more
the
weather
Max
change.
Hailstorm. Yeah, gonna go ahead and do a lot of damage through that protect to that Indeedee. Mm-hmm. As well as get a little bit of chip on this Regirock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Hailstorm. Oh, it's Safety Goggles Indeedee. Or did I miss the Hail Chip?
No, I think it is. It is.
Yeah. So Hailstorm does an insane amount of damage to the Indeedee through Protect. At this point, like, I think you may want to, obviously you're going to want to wait for Regirock to get out of max. I think it's probably just going to reset the Sandstorm up again.
I think so too. Mm-hmm. We see the helping hand from Indeedee. Blaster is going to protect.
Yeah.
Are you looking at that calc?
I'm looking at the calc, man. Yeah. I'm sleeping on Regirock. I thought it was bad. I guess I'm wrong again. Tri-Attack is enough to pick up the Indeedee, but even with the helping hand boost, unless it gets a crit onto one of the... Oh, it's a Knuckle.
So we gotta imagine that's into the Porygon, and then calling the Protect on the Glastrier.
Yep, that was a crit, which is very unfortunate.
It is, because if that Porygon could have, stuck around for another turn, it could have gone for some recovers, maybe helping that Ice Horse.
But Gil has Water or Shifu.
It's true. Do you think the combination of these two can take out this non-Dynamax Regirock?
Regirock gets Ice Punch? It's crazy. I'd say close combat and close combat and Surging Strike should just win the game. Yeah, you can't really do anything about that because, like, say that you can KO the Regirock here, or if Regirock can KO the Glastrier, then it takes 2 Surging Strikes with a can't, and if it can KO the Shifu, it'll take the close combat from Glastrier. So I think Gil got a really good pen on Bees. The Lumberry from Glastrier really helped in predicting that they would go for the Sleep Powder. Yeah, the screen says, wow, it is eating these Surging Strikes. That is very surprising.
And to be honest, this is more of the game that I expected Gil to play game one. And it just goes to show you that you can, if you can squeak one by the glass tier, lives that +2 rock slide. But the flinch comes out.
Yeah, the flinch comes out, but it doesn't
really going to matter
make
a whole lot.
Yeah, because it can't take another surging strikes.
Yeah, and so I thought Gil did a good job kind of conditioning, squeaking out a win without, the glass tier in the front. We didn't even see the glass tier for 2 games, and then bringing it out in game 3 to go ahead and close this set out. It's a very nice maneuver by Gil.
Oh, you could win if you drain punch KO. Could you? Because Gil still had Grimmsnarl. Like, the Surging Strikes is doing a lot of damage. I guess it probably takes the Spirit Breaks really well. But yeah, definitely GG's to both players. That was a really great set.
Yeah.
I love the adjustments that both players made.
Yep.
Yeah, Regirock is stronger than I thought.